Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about the Numenera WUBRG campaign season 3. So at this point, Blackout has completed his time in the 7th Age, and he has gotten the blood crystal from the Order of Truth, who oversees the Eon Priests and actually facilitates the Eon Priests. Very fascinating. And at this point, he is in the memory bowl. He's with the servant in the 9th Age. Okay, but they've witnessed the servant have learned through his dreams. They're kind of like dream ridden with him, and not dreams. I'm sorry, his memories. Right? They're memory riders. They've ridden with him through his memories of the 3rd Age, the Sunax, the 5th Age, the Tome Wall, the time of magic, the 7th Age, the time of the nano wave, with the nanoparticles, and they now know him as the Sunax Witness, the Tome Wall Protector, and the Nano Knight. And they've seen this champion of destiny that has gone from the 3rd Age to the 5th Age to the 7th Age, and now is with the servant in the 9th Age. And so he pulls his face out of the bowl, and they thank him for allowing them to understand their world, right? The 9th world. Now, the reality is, and when he was on, yeah, okay. So, and they have a much grander, they understand that their world is a combination of alien technology, literal real magic from a world whose magic was poured over the earth, almost like a pour over coffee, and then and all the magic had poured out of that other world, Orvanx, and then finally the world reshaped by nanoparticles. So this wave of nanoparticles that had reshaped the world. So at this point, he's in the 9th Age. He's with the deer people who are part of the awakened animals, the servant, right? And at this point, they embrace him, and at this point, he is free to begin to complete his tasks in the 9th Age and determine what those tasks are, because he fully understands his own history at this point. Really fascinating, right? So at this point, he comes out, and first of all, they speak with him, and they're like, okay, one, you've talked to us about the Onyx Sanctuary, right? You are the only human on the planet right now. There are 5 species on this planet, and then there is only you as humans, right? As a human. So the species are the bramble, okay, and that's the tree species. We now know that they were built during the time of magic, during the 5th Age. Okay, that's where they were born. Okay, the bramble also joined the servant in the. So once he comes out, he stays with them for 3 days. The bramble come, and the bramble and another visitor come, but the bramble come and reunite with Blackout, right? So they tell him, welcome back. And he's starting to just kind of piece together where he is now. In the 9th Age, he's the only human on the planet who's awake. All right? Blackout is. So there are the bramble. The bramble say, hey, just so you're aware, we were created, we all now know we were created in the Age of Magic. Just so you're aware, the Visk, the second other species that are on the Earth, the second other sentient species that are on the Earth right now, are the Visk. The bramble created the Visk with the same magic we were created. So the bramble actually created the Visk, and they are the water species. Okay. Then they say, then the awakened animals, we don't know their source, right? And then finally the smoke, we don't know their source either. Okay. But then finally, it comes to the cleft, right? And they're all talking through this. They're like, why are the species that are on this world right now, and why are the humans missing, right? And they don't really know the answer to this. But then finally, Blackout says, and then there's the cleft, and they're the mountain people. And at this point, the bramble and the servant look at each other. And by the way, all of the awakened animals have come together. The Kragoth, the Corvum, the Froa, all of the awakened animals, the frogs, the ravens, the deer, the rabbits, all of them have come together, and all of them are meeting with Blackout, because what's about to happen is Blackout is at a decision point, and one of those decision points is there are these 5 species on the planet right now. Humans don't fit. They're not actually, they're gone, right? And they've been in the Onyx Sanctuary for a long time. And so there's this unspoken question mark, right? Does Blackout go back into the Onyx Sanctuary the way he's done many, many times to be awakened in a future age, right? Maybe the 11th age or the 14th age, right? Or does he awaken the other 6 humans that are in the timeless chambers that was created by the Sunax, and bring humanity back to the earth? That's important. That's important, right? That's a big question, right? Well, the awakened animals and the brambles look at each other, right? And they're the only ones that are there. There's no members of the Visk there, and there's no members of the Smoke there, right? And he's never encountered them, right? And then finally, the bramble and the awakened animals look at each other and they're like, hey, we got something to tell you, buddy. Right? And they bring forward their guest, right? Now, who is their guest? A single cleft. Now, a cleft is this creature that is made of stone, right? So think of just a man-sized human being, but just made out of stone, right? And but if you look at the cleft, right, they have this bulbous circular head, and all their appendages are kind of rough and large scale, right? And like inexact, like thick fingers, thick toes, like not even toes, like almost like a boot, right? And so basically, Blackout's like, okay, and he's like, oh, great, I'm gonna meet the cleft now, right? So he sees this stone creature, and the stone creature comes forward, but then when the stone and stands directly in front of him, but then the stone creature breaks his stone shell, right, and lets it fall off, literally fall to the ground, right? So this stone shell falls to the ground, and what is there is a skelly. It's literally a Sunax without a suit, right? Now immediately, the awakened animals bring over the skelly his Atmo helmet, right, which is equipment that comes from the 3rd age for Sunaxes. So the cleft are not the mountain people. They are skellies who, after a billion years, had to hide themselves on Earth. There's only 70 of them, and they're all hidden as the cleft, right? But they're not really the cleft. They simply used the mountain stone, to create a new suit for themselves, a new armor, a new Atmo suit for them. They used to use juggers and alphas and and those kind of things, but now, and they would use their Atmo helmets to breathe on Earth. But these guys have survived for 1 billion years, right? And there's 70 of the Sunax left. And they said, and so the Sunax who's standing in front of him. So first of all, I love the gold player's reaction. The gold player is like, I have to literally roll to control myself because my instinct is to kill him, right? And the reason why is he's used to the Sunax who attacked Fairview, right? Who destroyed his hometown, right? And did a full, Wolverine's Red Dawn situation on his home on the Io Jupiter, right? So his only interaction with the Sunax are killing them, right? Like, he never talked with the Sunax. He just killed Sunaxes, right? So he is able to control himself, and then the Sunax is able to speak to him, and the bramble translate, and the Sunax have technology which allows their translation, so they're able to speak his language through their translator. So basically they say, hey, we're so sorry. There's only 70 of us left. We have lost complete contact with our home world. We are stranded on Earth, and we're sorry we attacked Earth. The Sunax are incredibly sorry for what we did to you in the third age, right? And so one, Blackout forgives them, right? It takes him a while. He's able to calm himself, and he forgives them. And I'm going to cut it off there. And thank you so much for letting me share with you the story of the Numenera WUBRG campaign season 1. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Nothing more and nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like subscribing and have a fetch millennium.